Every single weekend, thousands of wedding venues are hosting the biggest day of someone's life. But just beneath the surface, there's this quiet chaos, a huge operational risk that all comes down to one simple question that, honestly, most of them can't answer.
Just think about that for a second. At your own venue, if there was an emergency right this minute, could your team answer that question with 100% certainty? I mean, it's the foundation of everything, right? Safety, service, security, all of it.
But here's the crazy part. Most can't. They have a pretty good guess, a list that's probably right, but they don't have a definite real-time answer. And that's a massive, massive blind spot in their operations.
So what's causing this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Venues are running on second-hand information. They're completely at the mercy of the couple for a guest list that usually shows up late and is already out of date the second it lands in their inbox.
And look, this isn't just some small headache for the staff. No, this is a deep structural flaw in the whole process. To be blunt, it's a system that's practically designed to fail.
So what does this chaos really look like on the ground? Let's just follow the journey of how guest information trickles its way from the couple to the venue. Spoiler alert, it is a total mess.
Okay, so it usually kicks off with this, a spreadsheet, emailed over just a few days before the big day. It's just a single snapshot in time, right? A list of names? Seems simple. But this is where the trouble starts.
Because next, you get another email, and this one has the dietary needs. Maybe it's a Word doc, or maybe it's just typed out in the body of the email. So boom, right away, your most critical health and safety info is totally disconnected from the actual guest list.
Then, you know how it goes, the night before, the event manager gets a frantic text. Hey, Uncle Bob can't make it, but Cousin Sarah's coming now. And oh yeah, she's vegan. It's totally informal, and how is the rest of the team supposed to track that?
And just when you think you've got it handled, on the morning of the wedding, ding, another email. Good news, we squeezed in 2 more friends. So now you're juggling, 4 different conflicting sources of information? It's just pure confusion.
So what does this all mean on the day of the event? Well, your front-of-house staff has no idea who's actually shown up. Your kitchen is basically guessing about life-threatening allergies. Your security team is working off a list they can't trust. And maybe most importantly, you have absolutely no way to contact the 150 people on your property if something goes wrong.
This goes way beyond just being disorganized. This mess creates serious, tangible risks for the business. We're talking about a chain reaction that starts at inconvenient and can end up at outright dangerous. So this chaos boils down to 5 huge problems. First, security and liability. You can't account for everyone in a fire drill. That's a big deal. Second, catering mistakes. A wrong meal isn't just bad service, it's a health risk. Third, you've got stressed out staff, which means worse service for everyone. Fourth, your entire operation hinges on how organized one person, the bride, is. And fifth, and this one is huge.
After hosting 150 potential new customers, people who are on your property, loving your venue, you walk away with nothing. No names, no email addresses. That massive business opportunity just evaporates the second the party's over.
When you really get down to it, the problem is a total mismatch. We're trying to use a static tool, a spreadsheet, to manage something that is incredibly dynamic and alive. A wedding changes by the minute. You need a single source of truth that can keep up, not a dozen different documents that are all telling you different stories.
Okay, so the good news is, all this chaos, it's completely avoidable. Let's talk about how a modern digital approach can let venues finally take back full operational control.
So imagine this instead, a live digital system. A guest changes their +1, the list updates for everyone instantly. Not critical dietary info, it's tied directly to their name, no guesswork. And every single staff member, from the person at the door to the chef in the kitchen, has the exact same accurate information right on their phone or tablet.
And I want to be super clear about this. Yeah, a system like this is easier for the couple, but that's just a bonus. The real reason to do this is to give the venue, the business that's actually responsible for everything, complete control and visibility over their own event.
The shift in how you work is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of you chasing down information, you provide the system to collect it. The guests enter their own details directly, the data updates live, and just like that, the venue has perfect, real-time visibility. The chaos, it just disappears.
Now, just solving that operational nightmare is a massive win, right? But wait, there's another layer to this, a hidden benefit that most venues completely miss, a benefit that turns this solution into a powerful new asset for the business.
So let's go back to that moment when a guest RSVPs. In the old spreadsheet world, that's just a check mark next to a name. But when they RSVP through a modern system, what's really happening at that moment?
The venue now has the full name, the email address, and often the phone number for every single person who came to that wedding. And this isn't secondhand, misspelled data. This is accurate information typed in by the guests themselves.
And that is the game changer. All of a sudden, a wedding isn't just a one-and-done event. It's now a long-term marketing asset. You've just built a database of hundreds of warm leads, people who already know your venue, who already love it, that you can now market your own events to, like holiday parties or special dinners.
So when you boil it all down, the real struggle for venues isn't that weddings are just too complicated. The struggle is that they're still relying on decades-old analog methods to manage a very dynamic, very modern event. The problem isn't the task, it's the tool.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. In an age where we have instant data for everything, knowing who is on your property shouldn't be a mystery. The technology is here, the benefits are obvious, so the real question is, why are so many venues still choosing to operate in the dark?